What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome in to episode number 242 of the allegedly award-nominated in multiple categories. We'll get to that later on in the show. Still, I think, number 9. You're retweeting the podcast tweets, which we love and appreciate, Shrek, but let us know these updated rankings. We need the updated rankings, so I still think we're number 9 in multiple places. We'll get to that later in the show. And, of course, you can watch us on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. It's KB and Deej coming at you from Underground Studios. Not a whole lot to get into this episode. Not very often we can say that. The PLL was obviously out of office this week for their week of much deserved and well earned rest and avoiding social media at all costs until RJ just goes to a concert and links up with Method Man again. And the NLL is, we're slowly approaching training camp. Obviously, closer to the start of the season, we'll have our season previews. We'll have more guests on. This week has just been bonkos for DJ and I, so no guests this week. But we do have the second installment of our Shootout for Soldiers Philly interviews that we did back in July. That'll be here once we get done our intro for the people here. So stay tuned for that. Shout out to our Shootout for Soldiers fam. We got a do review. We got a top 5. It's just a fun, chill, kick back, enjoy the weekend type of episode. But before we get started, make sure you're following us on the socials at OTB Laxpot. Can we get to 1,500 followers for crying out loud? Come on, people. Let's pick it up. 1,500. Let's get to, we're very close. We're 57 away. Let's make that happen. Can we get that to happen before 2023 for crying out loud? Follow us at OTB Laxpod, Twitter and Instagram. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Please, 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 for the love of Christ, subscribe to the podcast feed. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. We're starting to get recognized a little bit somewhere, which we'll get to later in the show, but keep leaving the 5-star ratings and reviews. It really, really does help the show, helps more people find Outside the Box, and helps us grow this incredible community of people that we have talking lacrosse with us each and every week. And do the same thing over on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You get full video episodes of every episode of Outside the Box and every Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast and any, original content we're doing. It's on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. As of right now, DJ, we are 1 subscriber away from being a quarter of the way to our 1K first tier goal. That 1K Gauntlet Challenge. We're 249 subscribers on YouTube. I think by Halloween, I believe we can get to 300. I believe. So let's make that happen. OTB Nation is strong. I know there's a lot of you suckers that are still not subscribed to the YouTube channel because we see the analytics. We have the numbers. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below just to get the comment section flowing. Obviously, not a whole lot of lacrosse to talk about this week, but when it does roll around, we want that comment section flowing. Big shout out to our sponsors who make this show happen. Tomahawk Shades. I was wearing, DJ, I had my fantasy hockey draft tonight. I was wearing my Tomahawk Shades the whole time. Had to protect the eyeballs. Been watching so much TV for streamer season. Got to protect those bad boys. You guys can get your Blue Light Plus glasses, your sunglasses, hoodies, hats, shirts, and everything in between at TomahawkShades.com and use code USP for 25% off your order at TomahawkShades.com. That's code USP for 25% off at TomahawkShades.com. Kenwood Beer. Big things coming in 2023. I'm just going to leave it at that. Got big things coming. Big things brewing. Pun intended. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Use that all new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. The homies over at Pickup. NFL season, full swing. Baseball playoffs are here. Hockey right around the corner. Basketball, preseason's here. College football, full swing. And before you know it, NLL season's going to be here. So go to playpickup.com and you start playing the hottest headlines in sports created by content creators like DJ and myself. You rack up points on your fan profiles. You cash those in for prizes on the Pickup Marketplace. And all you got to do is sign up with your phone number. Go to playpickup.com now and start playing those headlines. And the pals over at Binho, leading up to the World Cup, guys, they are releasing new World Cup-inspired boards every single Friday. And by the time you're listening to this, they have the very first Premier League board. The Arsenal board is coming. Shout out to all the Gunners. Go get your Arsenal Binho boards and anything else at binhoboard.com and use code BINHOUSP for 10% off your order. That's binhoboard.com, BINHOBOARD.com, code BINHOUSP for 10% off your order. What's going on, Deej? Happy Coach's Day.
Thank you. You know, I just want to say for just a second, you are the only person in my life to have said that to me. Very much appreciate you.
I stand in solidarity with Coach Deej.
But, I mean, thank you. I actually didn't even realize it was Coach's Day until
Neither did I.
a couple hours ago.
Same.
So it wasn't a big deal to me. It's not a big deal to me. I don't do it for the recognition or anything. I do it for my boys, for them to fall in love with the game, get better, become better men. That's my prize out of that. That's my recognition. So, I mean, a pretty good Coach's Day, though. I honestly had probably the most fun day on a microphone that I've had in a long time. I did freshman football today. Hilarious. Just an awesome time. I spent like a 2-minute spill on Pat McAfee and punters and how important they are to the game. I just had a blast. If I could do it again, I'd go back and do it all over again. 100%.
It's the best. Catching up on my week. You want to know something? I was thinking about it when I did it. I got the adult Happy Meal this
Me
week.
too.
No free ads. Which toy did you end up getting?
I think it's Grimace. Purple homie.
Jealous as fuck. I love Grimace. I got Birdie.
Okay.
I'm 99.9% sure this adult Happy Meal was the very first time that I've ever had a Big Mac.
Wow.
Like,
You went with the Big Mac.
I can't remember a time in my life where I ever ordered a Big Mac. And I think that was the very first one.
You didn't get the nuggies?
Nah. I was in a burger mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Happy Meal. Traditionally, Happy Meal is like that hamburger. But it's an adult size. And it's a fucking Big Mac. So let's ride. Never had a Big Mac before. And gotta say, pretty solid. But I was like thinking, as I was like, I've never had a Big Mac in my life.
Man,
And here I am.
Yeah, it's had an epiphany one bite in.
I was like, wow,
Yeah,
this is crazy.
he had that Squidward epiphany.
Literally. I felt like that's so Raven when she had a vision.
She's like,
Her eyes just zoomed in. I went through the history of my 28 years walking this earth, and I was like,
Yep.
don't think I've ever had a Big Mac.
Didn't happen. That's
I'm a Bacon McDouble guy
Okay. I can see that.
because they're on the dollar menu.
Oh yeah, cheap all the way. Cheap all the way. Who spends money on food? Unless you go
I do gotta say, I need all 4 of those toys.
That is pretty tempting for me to go back.
I tried to today. The 3 McDonald's in my surrounding area.
Have run out.
We don't have that no more. How do you run out in a day? Get out of here.
They ran out of toys.
Man, they probably were They probably had a Brinks truck at night when they closed up and said, bring all the employees in. Come get them things.
I mean, that's not worse than a day or two after the Strawberry Frosty came out. That one I went to was out at noon. How you out of Frosty at noon, bro? You just started serving it at like 11 with lunch. There's no way you're giving people Frosty with their breakfast. So what did you do with all of it?
Counterpoint, not saying that it's valid, but counterpoint. I think if there ever was a Frosty to go with breakfast, it would be strawberry.
That's fair.
But yeah, I need all 4 of those toys. So if anybody got the other 3, Hamburglar, dog. I do gotta say though. Speaking of McDonald's, sponsor the podcast. We're giving you all this free publicity here now.
At this point,
It's a great time filling air for us. What happened to Ronald McDonald?
probably
They're doing these toys. You got Birdie, Grimace, and the Hamburglar, but you don't got the face of the franchise? That's like leaving the quarterback off the roster.
Hold on, when's the last time we saw Ronald McDonald?
That's what I'm saying.
He probably did something he had no business, and they just dropped
Sir, don't slander Ronald like that. He got a whole hospital named after him.
Okay. So why that even more reason to keep it under wraps and just kick him to the curb?
Now, I get why you did the mascot for the cactus flea market, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, I don't know.
But man,
They tripping.
Ronald just disappeared.
I
He
mean,
like Steve from Blue's Clues.
He disappeared like 8 years ago, though.
He's like Steve from Blue's Clues. He didn't even go to college.
I ain't seen Ronald, and I don't know.
He didn't come back years later to tell us we're doing great. He's proud of us.
I mean, Steve did come back years later.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Ronald hasn't.
Ronald's not going to.
It's like, where's my man, free Ronald.
Whole time Ronald out here.
Comment
like
section, hashtag free Ronald McDonald.
Ronald probably out here like Jared from Subway.
Sir. We're pushing boundaries right now.
I'm just saying, bro. Why else is they just gonna get rid of him like that?
It makes no sense.
He had to be doing something he ain't had no business.
But optically, like, just taking, like, just at face value. Like, that's like Burger King getting rid of the King mascot. That's like Wendy getting rid of Wendy. That's like Wendy's getting rid of Wendy.
Nah, that's like Little Caesar's getting rid of Little Homie.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Caesar for real. I don't know who that, but he got to stay. I promise you, if they ever get rid of him, you never catch me eating pizza.
Speaking of Little Caesars, remind me, I gotta send you our shout out to the Are You Garbage podcast. DJ and I, big fans.
Big fans.
One of your boys was on. I'm pretty sure he's one of your boys. He's a Michigan boy. The pride of Detroit, Michigan. Danny Brown.
Oh yeah, no, I like Danny. Danny, yeah.
He was on Are You Garbage, and they asked him, what was your pizza spot? Man, I grew up on Little Caesars. He said it was before it was a chain.
Yeah, man. But it only was a couple of them around Michigan. You could really get away with some, man. Wow.
Oh, so funny.
That was when
Danny Brown's the best.
Hot and ready was truly $5. Oh man.
He said, I still go back for the crazy bread though.
That was the worst part about Adrian. The Little Caesars there made awful crazy bread. Awful.
Tough.
Like one time it was like powdery, and I was like, "Should I put crack on this?" What's that right there? That don't look right.
Last thing before we get to our Shootout for Soldiers interview, which of the 4 adult Happy Meal toys do you think is going to be the most valuable? I think it's the cactus flea market mascot.
Definitely.
Because the hype piece will be like, yo, I need that.
There's that, and it's just like pretty much exclusive. Like this is the first time we've seen it, anything like that. Like, I don't know.
They're
It's
dope.
either going to be that or it's going to be all of them as a collection.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally all of them as a collection. But if I went individual, I was like, yeah, it's going to be the mascot because it's the company.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see the mascot be more than all of them.
True.
Collectively. But I wouldn't expect any of the other ones to be more collectively than the group.
Yeah, I was hoping for Grimace. That was my guy.
Yeah, I just knew. I didn't even touch it or anything.
Yeah, I haven't even opened mine yet. I'm like
before I opened the bag, because there were other people around me, so they wanted to know. Because I got it at work.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Oh, like what toy did you get that?" So before I even opened, I just felt in my bag. I was like, "I got Grimace." Like, I just know.
I love that it was the old school vintage. Like you don't know what's in the bag.
Yes. You can't look. It's a white bag.
Kids will never know.
Total guess.
That's '90s. That's '90s toy in your fast food meal.
Yes, I got about 5 years of that before they switched it up. Maybe a little longer.
Best.
But I mean, by the
time they clear
bag. By the time they switched to clear bags, I was done having Happy Meals, so I didn't care.
But now, Idris Elba meme. I want you to tell him we back up. Without any further ado, let's get into installment number 2 of our Shootout for Soldiers Philly interviews. I believe this one is with our good pal and now big-time follower of everything we do, PT Paul. It was a fantastic sit-down with PT Paul. Great insight on Vietnam and Operation Desert Storm, which is what the shootout pennies were inspired by this year. And really some stuff that, like, should be taught in school, Deej. Like, a lot of the stuff that PT Paul was dropping on me, I was just sitting there taking it all, and I was like, wow. A lot of this stuff you don't get taught in school. So it's definitely it's entertaining from a sense of, like, you learn from everything, because I was learning throughout the entire process. So without any further ado, let's kick it to PT Paul and installment number 2 of our Shootout for Soldiers Philly interviews. All right, guys, we're back here at Shootout for Soldiers Philadelphia. KB with you. We're here at Episcopal Academy, and I'm joined by my new friend Paul. Paul, thank you for coming on the show first and foremost, and let everybody know just a little bit about you, and we got some fun stories to tell.
Great. Hi, Kyle. Thanks you for having me here. I'm Paul Simonetti. I'm here representing Desert Storm. It is such an honor to have the opportunity to play in Shootout for Soldiers. But this year they made it special by having reversible jerseys. One, honoring those who served in Vietnam, and also those of us who served in Desert Storm. The catchphrase, the tagline, is that they're honoring the forgotten wars. I'm not sure if people are aware how disrespected our Vietnam service members were upon returning home. Some of them were not welcomed home. I know a lot of the current soldiers, we see them all the time. See the TikTok, we see the YouTube, they're welcomed home. Our Vietnam veterans never got that. So to see them being remembered on this field by honoring them by wearing their colors is extremely meaningful to me, because it's letting these kids know that those Vietnam veterans are not forgotten. Now, Desert Storm, we're a little different. See, when I came off the plane coming home from my combat deployment, I didn't know what to expect, right? Because prior Vietnam, those soldiers, some of them were spit on, some of them were cursed at, called baby killers. We didn't know what to expect. Some of us were actually more nervous coming off the plane to come home than we were to get into the combat zone, because we didn't know what to expect. And we were welcomed so positively. And you know why? It was because Vietnam veterans didn't let that happen again. Our Vietnam veterans, they stood up for us, and we are so grateful that the Vietnam veterans who were forgotten, who were disrespected, they went out of their way to make sure that never happened again. And what's happening in Shootout for Soldiers, we're not letting that happen again. It's just such an honor to be a part of this and to be able to share this message that the men and women who answer our nation's calls, you're remembered, you're respected, and it will always be the case. Thanks to our Vietnam veterans. Can I give a welcome home to all Vietnam veterans? If anybody's listening, please welcome home, and thank you for what you did. Thank you.
And for you, like, to be, a veteran of Desert Storm and to see the penny this year for the 10-year anniversary, to see that honor, like you said, how special that is to you, to see it, obviously going across the country now with the way that Shootout for Soldiers travels across every summer. what does that mean to you and to anybody that you know that served in Vietnam or Desert Storm to see, you know, the representation out there and the honor for the 10-year anniversary of Shoot Out for Soldiers, you know, tipping the cap to the Vietnam and Desert Storm vets?
I'll be honest, I've not spoken to a whole lot of Vietnam veterans, unfortunately. I would love to share this with them. But my peer group, our Desert Storm veterans, we do feel that we might have been a little forgotten. You know, at the governmental and legislative level, we're what is called pre-9/11 veterans. It's just not quite the same. Our government has done a much better job of taking care of our post-9/11 veterans. So perhaps some of them feel a little forgotten. However, when they see this, and they've seen it, and they want to buy the shirt, and they know that it matters. So tomorrow, you probably didn't know this, tomorrow, they're breaking ground at the Desert Storm Memorial in Washington, D.C. That's pretty exciting. So slowly, we're getting recognized, and it is extremely humbling. But I do have to be honest with you, Kyle. All we did was answer our nation's call. That's all we did. And we must always remember to honor those and respect those who answer the nation's call to be a nation worth living in by welcoming them home.
And, you know, to be here, obviously you went to college in Philly, so to be here in your college backyard as well. I was talking to Eric a couple weeks ago when we were on Long Island for the PLL weekend there, and even tonight, you know, haven't had a Shoot Out for Soldiers Philly, obviously, because of the pandemic since 2019. To see, you know, the turnout tonight, I said this is the building point, you know, to get the word back out there that, you know, Philly's the place to be. You know, everybody raves about, you know, the Philadelphia sports fandom and how Philadelphia as a people, we get behind whatever it is, we're there. I feel like this is the building point. What do you feel like Philadelphia can be in 2023, 2024 and beyond after seeing, you know, the turnout tonight for the first time since 2019?
What was most exciting to me, well, first of all, fly, Eagles, fly, and we're
absolutely
trust the process.
Yes.
And here we go. When that Vietnam veteran was speaking, those young men, they were paying attention. So they get it. These young men around here, they get it. I'm sure if there were young women from the women's game, they played a little earlier. They were long gone. I bet you they would be paying attention. I think the message is being received that supporting veterans matters. And lacrosse is awesome. We all love to play lacrosse. There's some tremendous lacrosse players. The number of D1 players that are out there is amazing. And, you know, we saw them in, you know, the high school game over there. They're great athletes. A ton of college players, active and recently graduated college, were playing just now. There's so many great lacrosse players, and they come together to serve a good cause. But you know what else they get to do, Kyle? They get to have fun. You know how fun lacrosse is when you don't have a coach yelling at you. You don't have the perception of these middle school tournaments, and maybe there's coaches watching you, ranking you, rating you. These kids just get to play the game they love and have fun for a good cause. It is awesome. And Philadelphia can be a part of that because there's just so many athletes nearby, so many clubs, so many players. It's awesome.
And, you know, you talk about being out there, having fun. How important do you think that is for so many veterans to be able to have that opportunity to, you know, strap up the cleats again? May have been years since they played lacrosse. It may be the very first time that they're playing lacrosse, but to have that opportunity to go out there, be in like a team environment as well, and just go out and have some fun playing lacrosse, how important do you think that is?
That's extremely important. I always felt that having something like this on the calendar is one of those things that keeps veterans moving forward. Allegedly, I don't know how true it is, how accurate it is anymore, that 22 veterans a day take their own lives. That is insane. That's a lot. It should be close to like zero, but there's more than one, you know, and what do we do for them? We give them purposeful activities. As a lacrosse player, you get to be a part of a team again. You get to have that person to your left, that person to your right. They matter. That's like it is in the military, where you have to do your job, not just for yourself, but for your teammates. And we get to do that on the field. And I think that experience, I talk about it being an itch that I like to scratch. And that's what lacrosse does for me. And specifically at Shoot Out for Soldiers, some of the guys have become lifelong friends, a cadre of lifelong friends. Some of them are total strangers because I've never seen them before. But we fall right in because it's a mentality that we like to be a part of. And being a part of that team environment, group atmosphere, it really is such a positive thing. It's really a big boost.
I had some guys up here earlier. I'm going to ask you the same question. How many, you know, you look at a Venn diagram of team sports, lacrosse in particular, and, you know, your career in the military, how much overlap do you tend to see when you're out there, you know, playing Shoot Out for Soldiers, or even kicking it back to when you were playing when you were younger as well? How much overlap have you seen from that team sport mentality to your military career?
Yeah, I really believe that people who are successful in the military are team players. You have to be. I mean, it's very hard to be successful in the military if you're doing it for yourself. And you cannot be successful on a lacrosse field unless you work with your teammates. So there's a ton of overlap. I think that's why we love it. That's why it's a part of us, and why even once we get out, we still need to be a part of this, breaking a sweat. I do wonder too, taking it deeper, are there odors that remind us of things? Is it the helmet, the equipment? Is it the physicality? All these other little things. And especially more so because I'm older and I can't do as much. You get very quickly to your breaking point, very quickly. And those are little things that happen in the military that I don't know if they're good or not, but they're sort of addicting. And you can accomplish them in a safe environment here, right here on a lacrosse field. And we love it.
And how, exciting is it when you see somebody who's never been in a lacrosse game before? This is their first time out there, sharing that experience with people who've played lacrosse in the past, people who've been in the military just like them, for them to get that very first time out there on the field.
I just love that they want to try this game. This might be something they're doing as a lifelong hobby. Hey, you know what? They may not like it. But I like that the framework of Shootout for Soldiers welcomes everybody to come out and play. We have had players, and yes, a couple years ago, that Sowers kid, yeah, he's a pro player now. I had to try to defend against him. I was just a little bit overmatched. But, my goalie that day, he's in his 50s. He only gave up 2 goals that day to that young fella who is currently an amazing athlete. But here's the thing. He was out there right there with us. There was no showboating. He was playing lacrosse, having fun, supporting this cause. And he and his team, they had a great time together. Our team, we had a great time together. The score might not have gone our way entirely, but it was just such a high level of respect for his athleticism. We love to see that. And, on the other side, he was respectful of us, that we had the same passion for the game. And that only happens at Shootout for Soldiers. At a tournament game with these middle school teams, they're looking at a 20-2 match, and they're excited about that. And that's not what this is about.
And, you bring up Michael Sowers, obviously, Philly guy, to, have played against him in this event, to now see him playing and thriving at the pro level. How cool is that for you guys who, in the military, coming out to, an amazing event like Shootout for Soldiers, and then you see somebody who's a kid playing, and then they're taking their talents to the next level.
Oh, it's awesome to be out on the field with them. They're, we're a little older to call them our heroes, but these young guys, that is who lights their eyes up. And we're out there with them and enjoying this communal experience. It's great.
And you're one of those people that can say, yeah, I played against Michael Sowers, who now plays for the Water Dogs.
Right. Yeah, he's an all right player. He's a heck of a good guy, too. I was so impressed by him as a person.
He's great.
Well.
And, speaking of the people out to see, Chris Bates, Todd McFarland, Chris Collins out here today as well, giving some of their time during a week off during the All-Star break to see them out here supporting Shootout for Soldiers, coming out to be with you guys. How awesome is that for you?
I love that they support it. They have a passion for this, and it is so clear they don't have to do this. They can stay home. They could rest, take their time off. It is very intense for them to coach at that level. They could also do an event where they get paid, but they value this event so much to give their time. I don't know that we can express enough appreciation for all of you, and yourself included, that give of your time to allow us to have this platform.
And, I think platform is something that I bring up a lot in the lacrosse community, where it is such a relatively new sport in the public eye in terms of the pro game, the college game, and everything. How important do you think it is, for a platform for veterans to have to kind of, if they need to vocalize something, whether it is something, like a podcast, whether it is, finding that help, whether it's, a therapy side of things, how important do you think it is to have a platform for veterans to really be able to kind of just, get things off their chest, speak and vocalize things?
I think it's extremely important. Obviously, we talked about the 22 a day. A lot of my friends are in that space, in the nonprofit space. There are tons of organizations that overlap and compete for the opportunity to draw the attention of veterans. I don't know how they do that. What is their platform? This platform is pretty darn effective. You see us showing up every year. It doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody wants to break a sweat and, get their pulse, at a $190 on a 90-degree day when it's 90 humid. But, for those of us who did it when it was 100 and some degrees, it's okay. And for those guys who were in Afghanistan and Iraq, they were there a hell of a lot longer than I am. So far be it for me to complain about 2 20-minute halves. But it was pretty warm. But I'm not 19 anymore. But how do we engage with veterans? This is one platform, and it's extremely effective for the people that it has reached. It's a pretty big number. Kyle, I don't know how we reach everybody. I wish we knew the answer to that, but this is a good model that can be used in other ways. Other sports, I mean, it could be chess, it could be volleyball, it could be swimming. Like, there's just so many different ways, because in the military, it's physical, and I don't think you can have a successful group of veterans if they're going to sit around and say, read or do something more passive, like just talk. It needs to be something a little bit the platform.
And, you brought up earlier in our conversation, like, the Forgotten Wars and everything with, Desert Storm. I feel like it's, like you said, it's forgotten. Not a lot of people bring it up when they talk about, the history of this country, the history of, military and everything like that. Enlighten, some of our listeners and everything about Desert Storm and, what that experience was like for you and why more people need to, talk about it and talk about it as, a piece of our nation's history.
All right. So I was a 19-year-old kid, Army reservist, back in the late 80s. When you joined the Army Reserves, you never thought you would get called up. And then Saddam Hussein, the Iraqi leader, crossed over into Kuwait in an argument over whose oil who was drilling. And I found myself and several 100,000 others of us found ourselves over there, initially at Desert Shield, defending Saudi Arabia with the thought that Saddam Hussein would continue his invasion beyond Kuwait and then strangle the oil wells and the oil supply in Saudi Arabia, which would have consequences. I think we're seeing the consequences of that now, unfortunately, when the oil supply is, and how that has consequences. But once what was called Desert Storm began, and what it started out with was an air war, targeted airstrikes that took out a lot of the capability of the Iraqi military to knock down an invasion. We had air superiority. We had everything working together. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines truly worked together in a combined effort. And in 100 hours, the land war achieved its objectives. That is an insane amount of success. But we do have to take a half a step back and be respectful. Younger folks don't realize how Vietnam was. In the 80s, the phrase, no more Vietnams. So what we had in Desert Storm was a very closed-ended, targeted operation with tangible goals that were listed in advance. And they were achieved, and that was the end of the operation, and we settled things down and began sending our troops back home. Our brothers in Iraq and Afghanistan did not have such a thing. Perhaps that lesson of Afghanistan and Iraq is a little bit different from what we learned in Vietnam, the no more Vietnams. I'm sure 5 to 10 years from now, that might be what politicians run on. No more Afghanistans or no more prolonged occupations. That might be, but again, it's these politicians and they're making these decisions in formal attire, sitting around a table in an air-conditioned building while men and women are answering the call. So we answered our call. We did our job to the best of our ability. And I want to make clear, everybody in Iraq and Afghanistan, they absolutely did a magnificent job. They did their job. It was not the boots on the ground that had anything to do with the outcomes of those. The boots did their job. The suits, on the other hand, maybe they didn't do and take care of the operations as well as they could have. So after 100 hours, we had ejected Saddam Hussein from Kuwait. We had a signed surrender document. That may be a thing of the past. Like with the way asymmetric warfare is, we may never see that again. There may be just small little concessions made. Who knows what will happen with the Ukraine, and who knows what the future holds. And then after Desert Storm, as I think I mentioned earlier, we were nervous coming off that plane. Would we be greeted, welcomed? Would we be called bad names, hurtful things? Like baby killers, really hurtful. But no, there were people from the USO that were there. Those hot dogs were amazingly good. They were probably like dollar store would have been high end in 1991, but I'm sure those tasted so good with the cheapest mustard pack. Oh, it was so good. And the people who were there to greet us were Vietnam veterans, and that's something that can never ever be forgotten. That they were disrespected. They were not welcomed upon their return, but they would not let that happen again. So they made sure all of us in Desert Storm had that welcome back.
And do you think, with that welcome back from the Vietnam vets for everybody that was in Desert Storm, kind of forged that bond between, two generations almost, where, you guys didn't know what to expect when you were getting off those planes and coming home? How much do you think that, forever entrenched Vietnam and Desert Storm vets together?
Well, the evidence was today when I made sure the handful of guys gave a good, boisterous welcome home, and I knew how much it meant to them that they were honored and they were recognized. And we share the need of our veterans home. You see somebody with that yellow and green and red service ribbon across their hat that says Vietnam veteran. Some people say thank you for your service. Some people say hi. Give them a welcome home. They certainly deserve it. But yeah, the bond cannot be denied because they did for us what was not done for them. They saw something that was wrong, and instead of taking that into bitterness and anger, turned it positive. What an amazing lesson that is for all of us, that when you know something was wrong and you were hurt, instead of taking that internally, you do something about it to prevent it from happening again. And that's what we have to do as Desert Storm veterans, is share the vision with everybody else, that regardless of anything else, the men and women who answer our nation's call, they answered our call. They did it for us. We need to respect them for that.
And to shift gears back to lacrosse as well, to see some of these guys who have been able to take their talents, who were at some of the military academies for school, and now are playing at the pro level as well and fulfilling that dream. Obviously, the most recent being Brendan Nickturn from Army West Point, Rookie of the Year candidate this year so far for the Chrome. How awesome is that for you as a veteran to see some of these guys who are in the military academies and getting that opportunity to fulfill that dream as well of playing the professional sport that they, were also playing at the academy?
We're cheering for them. And there might not be as many people at the Army-Navy lacrosse game, but darn well those other people from that lesser branch of the Navy, we certainly give them grief when they lose. And then they were all boisterous about winning this year. Oh, no. That same weekend, the women's lacrosse team beat Navy lacrosse, women's lacrosse. So we follow all of these guys because we love the sport. It's a passion for it. And yeah, they're kind of wearing our colors. Not really, because, they're certainly at a much higher level than we are, but there's pride in that. And we carry that through, not just at the Army-Navy football, but all of it.
Now, is it for you a case of where, with the PLL being so new as well, is it something where you're following more so players than a team, or have you selected a favorite PLL team?
Well, I'm going to say 5 years ago at Shootout for Soldiers Philadelphia, maybe it was 6 years ago, there was some young college recent grad who just kind of hung out with the veterans with us. And yeah, he's doing all right. What's his Matt Rambo? He's doing all right. But he spent the whole night just hanging out with us. It was really, really cool. And he made a lifelong group of fans that day, just by hanging out with us. And back then he was with the Charlotte Hounds. And by all means, he could have been hanging out with his friends. He could have gone wherever, but he was not allowed to play with us. Apparently they didn't want him to get hurt, but he still just spent the night. He was with Coach Tillman was there and a bunch of the players, and it was just really cool. And as a result, yeah, I guess we like the whip snakes.
We love Matt Rambo on this show. I think it is really cool. Like, you bring up Michael Stowers, you bring up Matt Rambo, and seeing, when these guys were younger, they're out here, just supporting an amazing event, an amazing cause, and now they're playing at the highest peak that you can at the pro game in the PLL. And you also see, some of the academy guys as well. Johnny Surdick last year winning a championship with Chaos. That had to have been another awesome feeling for you guys from Army as well.
Yeah, we certainly take pride in that. Another young fella that needs to be recognized for his involvement is Ryan Drenner. He's also done a ton for the Shootout for Soldiers and has had a great career. And he's from near Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah.
And
went to Towson.
He's just so supportive of the youth program down there. And
he's great.
It's an awesome. Lacrosse is so good. Like the positive role models that these guys have become. It's just a great thing.
And to have that sense of like community and that sense of team again when you're at a Shootout for Soldiers event, for anybody out there who may have never attended one of these yet, or, plans on attending in the future, what would you say to them, to kind of, like you said, scratch that itch and come back out, lace up the cleats again, and come out and play some lacrosse?
All right. Well, today we had guys like myself who's been like a 25-year club player. We've had players who did play in college. We have players who went to college. We had one guy who'd never played lacrosse before, but he was out there. We had a few guys who threw the ball in the backyard. One guy who hasn't scored a goal in over 20 years. He had 2 today. And the one fella, the goalie, you saw his son out there. His son scored 4 goals on him? So yeah, there's room for everybody out here. And that, I don't know how that ride's going when your son scores 4 goals on you. I don't know how the ride home is going to be, but let me tell you, everybody out there got to be a part of that. And all of us smiled every single time he scored a goal. And the guy who went 20 years since his last goal, he had 2. The joy we had, I had a goal. And if any of my friends are in any way paying attention, I did have a crease violation, but the goal was not waved off. It was on a completely different play. Kyle, you don't know. I have had more goals waved off for crease violations than I've scored goals in my career. So yes, the goal did count, and I did have a crease violation. Separate plays. Thank you.
Put it in the Hall of Fame. Put it in the record books. We got to get Guinness out here next year. The Guinness Book of World Records to sign, seal, and deliver that record for you.
Yeah, the record number of crease violations.
This has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming out and supporting Shootout for Soldiers. And, hopefully Philly next year, from everything you've just brought to the table for everybody, is, 3, 4, 5 times the size as it was this year. We're back, Philly. So make sure you come out 2023, make it bigger and better than ever.
Kyle and everybody, thank you for supporting Shootout for Soldiers. I really appreciate it. And our Vietnam veterans, again, welcome home. Thank you for what you have done for us. And I'm just so honored to get to wear the chocolate chip again. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Big thank you to Eric Minio, Alexis Brandolini, Robbie Seeley, and PT Paul for giving us the opportunity and your time. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. And we're going to follow up our interview here with a fan favorite segment. Everybody, it is time for... It is a Drake Porter Dew review. We're going kind of classic. One of those typical all-around flavors. Code Red. The gamer's flavor. I figured, it's October. Little Scream Mask blood. Little Red October for my fighting Phils. Little red for the chaos out there. We're going to do Code Red. Deej and I picked up Code Red, the newly rebranded label for Code Red with the Godzilla-looking tortoise on the label. Just unreal. Mountain Dew, not a sponsor. No free ads. But if you want to sponsor the show, please do.
I got a different one.
Did you?
I got the Modern Warfare, John.
Ayo. Shout out to the COD boys.
I didn't even realize that. I'm getting rewards.
I don't remember back in the day Code Red having a quote unquote, for the people listening on audio, fruit flavor. This claiming it to be a dew with a rush of cherry flavor. I don't ever remember Code Red being classified as cherry back in the day. It was just like, yeah, it's Code Red. Like, it was like the one that was like supposed to make you run through a wall. Because it was like uberly caffeined back in the day. So we'll see what we're going to get into here. I was not really a big Code Red guy back in the day. I can't even tell you the last time I had a Code Red.
It's been a while.
Like, not decade at least.
Huge Code Red fan. It's okay.
And I only ever remember having Code Red in the cans. Like, that was like one of those like one of your good friends would always have it at their birthday party, and it was like the treat that their mom or dad picked up to throw in the cooler during the summer birthday party?
I think I've only had it fountain. I don't think I've had it out of bottle or can.
I definitely have had it out of a bottle, but I definitely remember having it more out of a can. So we're going to get into this. Mountain Dew Code Red. First Dew review since our Applebee's exclusive, I believe, which I still got to rewrite down our scores on our actual sheet. But to go through the flavors DJ and I have reviewed so far on the Dew review scale. We've done Spark, which is raspberry lemonade, Live Wire, which is orange, Major Melon, which is watermelon, Maui Burst, pineapple flavor, Frostbite in a can, Blue Ice melon flavored, which our can score will be revised very, very soon. That Garbage Flamin' Hot, the Buffalo Wild Wings exclusive Legend flavor, Baja Gold, which was pineapple, and Baja Mango Gem, which was mango, obviously, and then the Dark Berry Bash was Applebee's, which was fantastic. So, big shoes to follow up here for Code Red, one of the classic spin. It was the original spinoff, I think.
Yes.
So we'll get into Code Red here. I can already smell the
Yes.
gaming. The Kyler Murray juice. God. Oh, it smells terrible. You need to use a 4-button combo to unlock yours.
Well, I didn't want the thing to come off. That annoys me so much.
Same. It smells terrible.
It smells like carbonated cough syrup.
Ugh. Yeah. God. Ugh.
Okay,
Here we go.
stop smelling it.
Weather!
About gagged.
So here it is. Mountain Dew Code Red. I can already tell I'm going to hate this, but here we go. Bottoms up. It's just not good. It's just not good. I don't get how people drink this.
This tastes exactly how it smells.
Ugh.
Like carbonated cough syrup.
God.
Like, I'm mad I spent. I'm mad I spent.
Say it, it's not as bad as Flamin' Hot. It's nowhere close.
I spent $2.10 on this. I'm so mad.
It's not anywhere close to the Flamin' Hot realm.
No, but I have to drink it.
Yeah.
Because I spent $2.10 on it.
I mean, we did the same thing on Flamin' Hot, and I drank to here. That's it.
I mean, but that was actually that bad where I
It was
can't
horrid.
justify it. Maybe I tell myself that if I drink this enough, I won't cough for like a week.
Like, who thought this was good?
Somebody.
That somebody should be fired.
Mm-hmm.
The best part about it on mine, I don't know if you saw it, but we love the redesign of all the Mountain Dews with the mascots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tortoise kaiju.
That's fire.
That's the best part of it.
This tastes like...
Not good.
This
This is going to be our lowest score sans Flamin' Hot. I can already tell you that.
These taste like M16 casings. It just got such like a metal taste.
I'm going to fall out of my chair.
Like, it's literally just like spicy.
It's like what is it?
It's got to you ever licked a battery?
That's exactly that's exactly what I was gonna say. This feels like the equivalent of licking a battery.
It got a little metal. little metal.
You ever put a penny in your mouth?
And just sucked at it for a few seconds.
It's like if you were charging your phone and you pulled the charging cube out and just stuck the two prongs on your tongue. You know what this is what this taste is to your mouth as to playing Operation and getting zapped is to your hand. Same shit.
For real, your mouth feels like when your feet fall asleep on the toilet. It just buzzes. You can't figure out why.
It literally feels like when your foot falls asleep.
Yes.
Code Red is your foot falling asleep in drinkable form. If you like that sensation, drink Code Red.
It's not a good. No, I hate it.
You know what's even worse that we're going to have to eventually do too? There's the Code Red energy drink, which just sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
I'm so afraid to do the energy drinks. I think
Same.
my heart gonna combust.
I'm not drinking them all. I'm doing swig, done.
I've had 0 ounces of energy drink in my life. I'm not gonna be able to sit still during the rest of that pod. I'll be all over the place. No, you good? Yeah, my OCD.
Yeah, bro.
I gotta rearrange these jerseys.
Y'all got any more of these?
We keep talking though. I swear, it's fine. I'm paying attention.
You gonna start doing jumping jacks? That is the best descriptor. Code Red is to your taste buds as to any appendage falling asleep on you. Like when you get that staticky falling asleep on you feeling. That's what Code Red is.
That's the feeling, but the taste is carbonated cough syrup.
Carbonated battery acid.
Have you actually licked the battery?
No.
Also, disclaimer: bacon strips don't taste like bacon.
That's the show. Everyone have a great weekend.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Bro, I feel my heart aching right now. This is terrible.
Man said he just lost 2 years on his life.
I feel like Fred Sanford. This is not good. Code Red is not great. I don't know why people drink it. Don't know why it's the gamer drink of choice. At least in the meme world it is.
Nah, I feel like
there's definitely people that do.
This is a gamer.
No pun intended, but
I feel like anybody who builds their own PC drinks Code Red.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that.
Nope. I don't got the patience for that.
If it don't come,
it's also why I'm not a doctor.
If it don't come built, I'm not putting nothing together.
So, Deej, Code Red Mountain Dew is now in the books. What score will Code Red be getting from you? To put it in perspective for everybody, DJ scores Spark 8.5, Livewire 6.9, Major Melon 7.8, Maui Burst 7.8, Frostbite in a Can 8.7, Asterisk, Flamin' Hot 1, Legend Buffalo Wild Wings exclusive 8.0, Baja Gold 7.9, Baja Mango Gem 8.2, and I believe you gave the Applebee's flavor a 9.
I did. This one, probably gets a 3.
Just a flat 3?
Yeah, it's not the worst thing on the planet, but it's not the best. And like, if I went somewhere and it was like a Mountain Dew sponsored event, and I got there late, and this is the only option, I would force myself to drink it. But I'm never, ever just walking in any place and going, yeah, let me get that Code Red.
I'm curious, because we'll eventually get to it. I'm curious what's better. Code Red or Diet Original Mountain Dew?
Oh,
That's going to be a
ew.
true test. Which is why I got to keep the score in perspective a little bit, because
That's
that
why I
will be
gave
on the
it-
board.
That's why I gave it a 3, is because I feel like there will be stuff below it. But this is pretty bad.
Yeah. I'm going to... The first number that came in my head was 3.2. So I'm going to give it a 3.2. Go with my gut. 3.2 plus 3 is 6.1. Or I'm sorry, 6.2. Math is hard.
Yes, it is.
Divided by 2, because we got to average that thing out.
3.1.
3.1 is your official Code Red Dew Review score for the overall. And it is by far the lowest score we have given, not including Flamin' Hot. The next closest lowest score, Deej, was Livewire, which got an overall score of 7. And truthfully, this makes Livewire taste like lemonade in terms of just like refreshing and wow. Because, man, I would take Livewire any day of the week over this.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought Livewire wasn't that good.
I thought Livewire was terrible.
Yeah. But I mean, compared to this and that Flamin' Hot, give me that Livewire any day. You can
It's
put that
wild
in my
that
bloodstream. At
we're
that
both
point,
not really pineapple people either, and both pineapple scores blow this out of the water.
I mean, I think cherry is such a hard flavor to do. Like, you have to do it right, or it tastes like cough syrup.
Yep.
And
There's very few cherry, and I like actual cherries, like the fruit, like they're fantastic. This does not taste like actual cherries, so that also plays a factor, at least in my score. I'm sure it plays a factor in yours as well. Obviously, we know it's artificial, but you know, like when we did Major Melon, I love that, and you don't like the artificial watermelon flavor, so it got knocked for you. I thought it was.
Well, no, it's the other way around. I'm cool with artificial watermelon.
Oh yeah, and you
It's
said it
regular
tasted.
watermelon, but it tasted too much like regular watermelon.
So yeah,
Whoops.
that is
And it still tasted better than this.
yeah. I also think looking back at some of my scores, there's some adjustments that gotta get made. I think it's only a couple.
Yeah, after that dark berry bash, it put some other
Yeah.
things in perspective.
Like my mango gem should be more around your score than in what my score was. And then we both agree on our frostbite score.
Yes, that definitely has to be readjusted. But I'm interested to see if it tastes different in a bottle than it does in a can.
Yeah. Which we have
And
those in a bottle here. We have some other stuff too locked
Purple
away.
Thunder here in a bottle.
So more stuff on the way, but Code Red. Ugh. Terrible. Just not great. Not ideal. Whack.
Yeah, not a fan.
Nah. Nice try. Not really. For the people at home, I'm going to read this email verbatim because I think it's very funny. Don't know truly how valid this is. But late last night, as we record this on Thursday, so on Wednesday night at about 11:43 p.m., I got this email, DJ, from sender Anuj, Anuj, Agarwal, Agarwal. It's very funny to me because, like, it doesn't seem legit at all. But you look up the company and they're all over social media. So they're doing some sort of algorithm, but hi there. The T in there capitalized. My name is Anuj Agarwal. I'm the founder of FeedSpot. I would like to personally congratulate you as your website, which is just our RSS feed, and that's what this company is like known for, is like tracking RSS feeds and like stuff like that. Which for the people at home who don't podcast, that's like your podcast feed that you use to send to all the Apples and the Spotify so that your show is on their platform. Your website, your RSS feed, Outside the Box Podcast, has been selected by our panelist as just one single panelist, not plural, as one of the top 60 NCAA podcasts on the web. And then it gives a link to the top 60. This part, you might fall over laughing here. I personally give you a high five. It gets better. And want to thank you for your contribution to this world.
Not the world.
This is the most comprehensive list of top 60 NCAA podcasts hyperlinked on the internet, and I'm honored to have you as part of this. We'd be grateful if you can help us spread the word by briefly mentioning about the top 60 NCAA podcast list in any of your upcoming posts. Not plural. Upcoming post. Just one. This is our upcoming post. Be found, get more visibility, and leads with these branding features. It lists a whole bunch of features that are very funny. Get placement higher in the list. I'll try, Chief. Edit DESC and update logo. I think our logo is pretty great, so fuck off. Add a custom button to generate new leads. Get listed with business badge. Add Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel, Instagram profile links with follower counts. Add your podcast link. Pin most popular post. Add email address and phone. Add images to showcase your brand personality. Add Play Store and App Store links. That just seems like you trying to steal our identity.
Yep.
And then it says best Anuj with his headshot.
Man's threw his headshot at the bottom.
But apparently, guys, allegedly, according to this FeedSpot website, we are the number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet.
Which is a joke.
Hilarious.
A literal joke.
I am going to read off the list of 60 for everybody here. Okay? Starting with number 1 is NCAA podcasts, which is like literally from the NCAA itself. Yahoo Sports College Podcast. The AP Top 25 College Football Podcast, which is the Associated Press's podcast. All Things Gymnastics Podcast.
Okay.
The Solid Verbal College Football Podcast. The Ryan Russillo Podcast. That's number 6. Number 7, Eye on College Basketball Podcast, which is a CBS podcast. The Game Theory Podcast. The allegedly award-nominated, honorably / number 9 ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box Podcast at number 9. Number 10, Built for Playmakers, an FSU football podcast, which is FSU's the Believe Network podcast. College Football Daily. The Cover 3 College Football Podcast, which is CBS Sports. Two Lawyers Talk Sports. Never heard of that. Hockey on Campus. The Goodman and Hummel Basketball Podcast.
Okay.
The Women Leaders Podcast.
Nice.
Three Man Weave, a college basketball podcast. Athlon Sports Cover 2 College Football Podcast. The Game Before Money, NFL, AFL, and NCAA Football Legends. Number 20, The Audible with Stu and Bruce, a show about college football. Number 21, College Hoops Today with John Rothstein. Is ranked number 21, yet we're ranked number 9. John Rothstein is like the voice of college basketball. Hoops HD, Blood Round Wrestling Podcast from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Interesting.
Believe in LA Football, which is the Believe Network. Which is, looks like they talk USC and LA Rams, UCLA, Chargers, Wildcats, and more. Here's one we do know, Deej. Shout out to the homies. The Lax Factor Lacrosse Podcast.
Okay, yeah.
At number 25.
Let's go, Lax Fat.
College Soccer Nation, which their image is literally the clip art of a soccer ball with a graduation cap on it. The Huskies Warming House Podcast. ITHSW Podcast, which is Ice Time Hockey Desert SW Inc. That's a mouthful. Rule 11 Podcast, College Football Officiating Conversations. Number 30, The Press Zone, which is a hockey prospect show. Mid-Major Basketball Undrafted Free Agent.com presents. Here's the best. Number 32. NCAA on Westwood One Sports.
No way.
Number 33. Go Blue with Stu, a Michigan basketball podcast.
Go Blue, baby.
Number 34. College Football Live. Literally ESPN's college football podcast. Number 34. But we're number 9. The College Football Podcast.
Oh, wow. They're pretty low.
Which is collegefootballpodcast.com. I don't think it's who you think it is because their Twitter account only has 262 followers.
Okay, no, it's not.
The Shutdown Fullcast, which is like SB Nation's college football podcast that rarely talks about college football, but shout out to them because it's a niche thing. And if you listen to that show, you know why. They do a fantastic job. Shout out to the Shutdown Fullcast. Full Ride College Recruiting Podcast. The Virtual Tailgate. Number 39. March Madness 365 with Andy Katz. Number 40, Hoopsville. Number 41, Solving Basketball. Number 42, This Week in the Big East. Weekly overview of NCAA college basketball's top conference.
That's one an awful name because the Big East is not ever anyone's top. 2, some of these other these names suck.
Number 43, Run It Back.
I like that.
Number 44, Beyond the Basket. Number 45, this one's hilarious. This is called Aiming for Tens. It's NCAA rifle coaches. It's a shooting podcast.
I'm there.
DMVsoccer.com coaching podcast. Marching to Madness, number 47.
I like that.
Number 48, Hoopin' with Hoops, the college basketball betting show. Number 49, Eli Studio Sports. This kid looks like he's 7. Number 50, Fourth and Inches American and College Football Podcast based in the UK. Number 51, D1 Fencing.
Gang, gang.
Number 52, All Things NCAA. Number 53, College Golf Profiles. Number 54, Dr. Jimbo Love Show.
Excuse me.
Number 55, Bracket U. And this is the list of top 60, but there's only 55 on the list.
The validity is gone. The validity has completely disappeared.
So if we take 5 off the bottom.
That puts us at 4.
Or does it go in reverse and we're 14?
Well, you can't take 5 off the bottom and then put them at the top.
Or do those 5 just not exist and we're just still 9?
Okay, yeah, that works. We're either 9 or 4.
We're the number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet. That's going in the bio.
And the internet.
The internet. The whole World Wide Web.
Interweb. Get at me.
We're the number 9 NCAA podcast. And Deej, what's it all stem from?
The fact that you don't watch any. It's like the only time we talk about the NCAA is me telling you to watch so we can talk about the NCAA.
And then the Final Four.
Yeah, the final. We talked about it for maybe half an hour. You are funny.
Number 9. Hey, whatever we're doing's working. We're number 9. We're top 10 with what we're doing.
You ready for this? Hold on. There was a halftime show today at the football game, and they used that. I was at the end, and I was like, "Oh, I need that." She's like, "You want me to send it to you?" I was like, "Yeah."
Some of the best drops.
She's like, "You got AirDrop?" I was like, "Give me that." So you know how funny it would be to be out and about, and just somebody says something, you're like, "Hold on, just wait," and pull up that video, and then go, "Wait, who are you?" And then just walk away.
Whatever we're doing is working, though. We're the number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet.
We're number 9 in multiple spots.
We're better than John Rothstein. We're better than College Game Day.
Rondo number 9.
It's going in the bio. It's going in the Twitter bio. It's part of the resume.
Rondo number 9.
We are allegedly top 9. I put top 10 just to make it look more seamless, but we are inside the top 10 NCAA podcasts on the internet. So put some respect on our names, okay? Not only are we talking professional lacrosse, but in all of NCAA, we're number 9.
All 3 of y'all.
Put some respect.
Respect.
RESPECK.
Spec on our names. Round this thing.
Put 9 on it.
I'm telling you, Rondo number 9.
That's going to be...
Everybody should know. Some of y'all know the Rondo number 9 that I know. Some of y'all know the Rondo number 9 that played for the Celtics. I happen to know both. But either way, we the new Rondo number 9.
That's
going to know either of those.
That's going to be a future top 5, I think. Top 5 number 9s. Eventually.
I can rock with that.
Eventually. But we do have a top 5 to round out today's episode for you guys. It is top 5, Colin Squire's top 5, spooky icons. We're going to do a top 5 every week in the month of October pertaining to something Halloween. Deej and I both love Halloween. We both love the spooky season. And Deej gave that a 3. He continues to drink it.
Hey, I spent $2.10 on this, man. It's getting drunk. It's not bad enough to where it can't get
That
drunk.
shit was spooky on the wallet. Top 5 spooky icons, I think,
Hey, I
is.
ain't broke, y'all. I'm not broke,
I
but
am.
I ain't finna waste my $2.10 either.
I think spooky icons leaves it open to interpretation. Can kind of be in a bunch of different realms. But we're going to do our top 5 spooky icons this week to kick off spooky season here on OTB for 2022. Deej, last week, I believe you started with the top 5 PLL moments. So I will start here as soon as I write down the title. Okay. My first pick for spooky icon, I'm going to go a little unconventional here because it is more tailored to a specific demographic, but I think they are a spooky icon nonetheless, and it's Scooby-Doo.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan.
Did you
I,
see the new Velma show that is coming to HBO Max that is
of,
tailored to adults?
of course I saw it.
And they finally made Velma a lesbian.
And I can't wait.
I'm so stoked. Scooby-Doo is my number 1.
So we're going 1 to 5. Okay.
So, DJ, you're number 1.
You made this a lot easier on me. Number 1, it doesn't get better than this guy. Doesn't get better than his series. It is I love how you're already typing because I think you know exactly.
I already have it typed out.
Because I can't wait for the new movie. Like that. I don't even go to movies on opening night, but I'm probably going to be there on opening night because it does not get better in the spooky season than Michael Myers. Get the knife out. Get the slow stalk. Get the mask. Where's his sister? Because he own her. And this time she gonna die. His mom gonna die. He probably just gonna off himself. Because that's his whole bane of existence. It's just to kill his sister. So after he does it, what is he gonna do? I mean, I said it a long time ago. They should have just let him kill her in movie 1 and then lock him up. He poses no threat to anyone else in the country unless they try and stop him from killing his sister. Why are we gonna risk all these lives for one life, right? The dilemma. What's more right? Homegirl just got the shit end of the stick, me and his little sister.
That's true. We'll do it like snake draft style, so I'll let you get your number 2 in as well.
Number 2 is probably Hannibal Lecter.
I like that pick a lot.
Like between the movie, being a real guy, and just they cannibalism is spooky. It's like something everybody thinks about when Halloween comes around. Is vampires, people eating people. Like it's almost as good as Halloween, but like you can't get better than the Halloween series for me because like that was the first scary movie I ever saw, and it wasn't even scary. It was funny.
I like the Hannibal Lecter pick. My number 2, I'm going to go with a classic. Not only is it movie-wise, it's Halloween costume-wise. Just iconic. Scream. It doesn't, you think Halloween a lot. Obviously, you think Michael Myers, but Scream is up there big time. So I'm going to go Scream. And then on the wraparound, this one's relatively new, but I think it plays into the spooky icon. There's a lot of Halloween tie-ins with this. I'm trying to debate on who I really want to go with. I'm gonna go the Vecna from Stranger Things season 4. Vecna's spooky as shit, scary as shit, and really turned Stranger Things up from a 10 to like a 40 with just how twisted and sick and evil he is. So I'm going to take Vecna with my number 3 pick from Stranger Things 4. Not the D&D character that it's, inspired by, who's equally as spooky, but I'm going to go Vecna, Stranger Things 4.
That's a very solid pick. I like that a lot. Number 3, this one has a little home state love sprinkled in. The movie is a fantastic movie, one of few scary movies to actually scare me. The creature is disgusting and very ugly, and just I like cringe and like shiver and like throw up anytime I think about it. And I couldn't imagine being trapped in a bus with this thing. Jeepers Creepers. I think it's more about the face than anything. The face is just spooky. Because, like, first off, you're not catching me in no situation like that without a strap. So I would have shot him, and that just would have been that. Or at least ran away. One thing I'm not going to do is sit anywhere. But it just, the close-ups on the face in that movie still haunt me to this day.
And your number 4.
Number 4. This one's kind of goofy, but it's nostalgic and the farthest from spooky, actually. But it's kind of that icon. They really only brought him out in dark times or in Halloween season. But the Flying Dutchman from Spongebob.
Ooh, I like that.
I loved the Flying Dutchman. I thought anytime he was in an episode, it was going to be funny. And then that was just the hit. I loved Flying Dutchman. It's
I like
not
that.
Like I said, not really spooky, but like, ghost.
Welcome back.
Stupid pirate ship. Like,
You're good. You're good. You're good.
You're good.
The monkey's fist. The monkey.
The monkey.
I like that pick a lot. My number 4 is relatively recent revival. I think you think Halloween, you think spooky season, you think of the baddest trio in the land, the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus.
I could fight you right now. I could fight you right now.
Like, those are Halloween icons. Spooky season icons. Take the Sanderson sisters, and then on my final pick, as you can see, I'm like pulling from different realms for everything. Final pick. Spooky icon. Here's another one. Scooby-Doo had, live action and animated. This one's strictly anime. The Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown. It's an icon. It's an icon. You're out in the pumpkin patch waiting for the Great Pumpkin to arrive, and it's something that when Halloween rolls around, you always look forward to those Charlie Brown specials. So I'm going to take the Great Pumpkin with my number 5 pick.
You might fall out of your chair at this 5th pick because it is not in a spooky movie, not around Halloween time at all, ever. And it's honestly probably the funniest spooky thing you'll ever hear. But even as a child, she scared the living crap out of me. Just her face, her body, her mannerisms, the way she spoke, the yell, the certain small place that she locked children up in. It just was like, this woman is spooky. Miss Trunchbull from Matilda.
Oh, yes.
It's just a spooky woman.
Oh, yes.
Nothing is on Halloween or about spooky vibes or anything in that movie, but she just rubbed me as spooky. Like, the chokey, why? No. I couldn't imagine being a kid and her telling me to get in the chokey. Because I'm like, you get in the chokey. What the fuck's a chokey? I'm not getting in there.
100%. Yes.
Mom, can you come get me?
I want to go home. I hate it here.
Literally, I hate it here.
Oh, yeah. Great pick. So before we do honorable mentions, my top 5, Scooby-Doo, Scream, Vecna from Stranger Things 4, the Sanderson sisters, and the Great Pumpkin from the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. DJ's got Michael Myers, Hannibal Lecter, Jeepers Creepers, the Flying Dutchman from Spongebob, and Miss Trunchbull from Matilda. Honorable mentions that come to mind off the top of my head. Homie from Saw.
Yes.
Not
The
Matt
house-
Gaudette.
The house
Talking
from
about the
Monster
action.
House.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Obviously, Freddy and Jason,
Yep.
they're staples. Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. Come here, bitch. Trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head.
Me too.
Let's see. I mean, Dracula.
Yeah.
King Boo from Mario.
Esther.
Ooh, yep. That's a good one. The Grim Reaper.
Any variation of the Grim.
Any variation, whether it's... Oh, you know who's a good one? Courage the Cowardly Dog.
My boy. I love Courage.
Courage is a great one.
That was a banger. If you didn't watch Courage, you had no business watching cartoons.
Courage was easily the scariest children's show of all time.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
Chucky.
Leprechaun from the Hood. Man. You seen that yet?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna put you on. That movie is it's got like the spooky vibes because of how he looks. Just look it up. Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Leatherface, Pinhead, Pennywise. I got a good one. It's not like really like spooky season per se, but Gengar from Pokemon and Haunter from that one episode when they're in the mansion. Was a good one. Beetlejuice, I think, is a good one. Jack Skellington and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, which, yes, it is a Halloween movie just as much it is a Christmas movie. Just trying to see here if I missed anything else.
So you know this meme right here?
No.
You've never seen this meme? Where it's just like homies standing at the door, just like staring in. I'm gonna send you this picture.
Oh, I have another good one that I think you'll appreciate. It's actually two. One, he's spooky as fuck. Voldemort. The Dementors.
The Dementors. Yeah.
My sister will say he's spooky. I think he's just misunderstood. But Aragog, the spider, from
yeah, definitely misunderstood.
But my sister hates spiders, so Frankenstein, obviously. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty.
That's a good one.
Just seeing if I've missed anyone else.
Any demon.
True. If you listen to Streamer Season, Mephisto in the MCU. How do you feel about Jaws? I can see the justification.
I'm there for it because I'm scared of the ocean. So you got my vote.
I can see the justification being made for Jaws.
Absolutely. The ocean's scary.
I mean, the Addams Family.
That's a good one.
And the Munsters on a counterpoint too. Both spooky fams there. But if we missed anybody, comment down below in the YouTube comment section. your top 5 spooky icons, and let us know who you think has the best list in the comment section. Leave us your lists as well. But that's all we got for you guys this week. Not a lot of lacrosse to talk outside of our interview. That's about it. Very light week, very fun week, and that's what the off season's all about. Very minimal off season we have. We're just gonna take advantage and have fun with it. So make sure you guys are following us on the socials, Twitter and Instagram at OTBLaxPod. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com. Subscribe to the podcast feed. For the love of Christ, I'm begging you. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. It goes a long way for more and more people to find the number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You get full video episodes of the number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet every single Friday. And you get every Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast in full video form on the YouTube channel. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below with your top 5 spooky icon list. And big thank you to our sponsors, Tomahawk Shades, Kenwood Beer, Pickup, and Beano Board. All their info is linked in the show notes on audio and in the description on YouTube. But this has been episode number 242 of the allegedly award-nominated, allegedly number 9 NCAA podcast on the internet. Allegedly number 9 ranked. And, of course, viewable on YouTube. Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For DJ, I'm KB. Until next week, we're getting the heck out of here. Peace.
Peace.